Assassin's Creed Mirage is releasing on 15th May of 2023. Now this apparently seems to be the latest information that we have received related to the release date of this game, because Ubisoft, they never seem to have given us any sort of release date officially. The only thing they showed so far is the cinematic trailer, not even a gameplay. That is something really disappointing for the entire community. Now as far as what the leak goes for the release date, this is coming from Access the Enemy. Now for those of you guys who are familiar with the Assassin's Creed community, you probably know that Access the Enemies is one of the Assassin's Creed dedicated community that they've been building, and they've now given us some information on their official Twitter page, which basically states that Assassin's Creed Mirage seems to feature an estimated delivery date on May 15th of 2023. Now this date is not, of course, any official information. It's not confirmed by Ubisoft themselves. Now this is coming from one of the fans named Daniel Ballas, who seemed to have pre-ordered Assassin's Creed Mirage on whatever website. Now I don't know where this website is. The only screenshot that we have received from Daniel here states that he is pre-ordered Assassin's Creed Mirage and that the estimated delivery date for this game is on 15th May 2023. Now this basically explains as to why Ubisoft said that this game was going to be coming out somewhere in spring of 2023. And May 15, 2023 seems to be a perfect date according to whatever Ubisoft has confirmed before. And I was actually scrolling through the reply section here, and there seems to be an official confirmation coming from the official website Ubisoft Uplay Store themselves, where Ubisoft Store is basically marketing the game as 15th February 2023. Now this seems to be some kind of a glitch or a bug that just appeared out of nowhere for one of the fans, who has now claimed that according to Ubisoft Connect website or the application, Assassin's Creed Mirage will be available on February 15th, 2023. Now this information, since it's coming from the official Ubisoft Connect website, this could most likely mean that Assassin's Creed Mirage could be releasing in February 15th. Now, although I would honestly prefer February over May, because yeah, we're going to be getting the game much sooner. And right now, the gaming seasons and everything is pretty much dry. And as you guys know, there is not a lot of content for Assassin's Creed going on, and I would just love to get my hands on with the newest Assassin's Creed games. Now don't get me wrong, even though I have enjoyed games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which has been the recent RPG style and stuff like that, I would still love myself to go back to some of the old school Assassin's Creed games. That is something that Assassin's Creed Mirage has been promising to offer for the upcoming title in the Assassin's Creed genre. Now Ubisoft has said a couple of information related to Assassin's Creed Mirage. They've now promised once again that they're going to make Assassin's Creed Mirage go back to its roots, which means that this game is most likely going to be similar to more of the old school games that we have played before. Now, of course, it means that we're not going to have like a huge expansive open world like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Origins or Odyssey, since it's more of a linear open world, kind of like a semi-open world, which doesn't really have much things to do. But at the same time, they're focusing more towards the main storyline, the main story arc, other than just moving around with all the different side quests that is completely unnecessary with some of the Assassin's Creed games. Now, if you take a look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there seems to be a huge lackluster in terms of how they have designed the side quests, because there seems to be absolutely no side quest that is interesting enough. Maybe there are one or two, but still most of them kind of get repetitive. So you gotta agree on this fact, because this is 100% fact, and I know that a lot of people who have played Assassin's Creed Odyssey are going to agree with this, that Ubisoft needs to put in work if they're trying to do more side quests. I would honestly suggest them to do more side quests, but if they take the route with what CD Projekt Red did with games like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, where they have basically given us side quests that kind of like connects to the main quest, and at the same time there is an actual lore which engages the players in order to play those side quests and like continue the entire quest line and stuff like that. They could do a better job with the upcoming Assassin's Creed RPG titles, which is going to be codenamed Red, set in feudal Japan. But apart from this, Assassin's Creed Mirage, it's not going to be a lackluster in terms of RPG title, because it's going to go back to the roots as far as what Ubisoft has promised us so far. Now, there's something that I absolutely hate in terms of how Ubisoft is marketing their Assassin's Creed Mirage game, especially since they haven't really shown us any sort of gameplay related content at all. The only thing they've given us is a CGI trailer, which basically shows us nothing related to how the game is going to look like or play like, or even if the gamers are willing to pay money in order to buy this game without even having to see the game, because they've already stocked up on the pre-orders. The pre-orders are live, and as we know, Ubisoft always does their fair share in terms of like looting money from their customers. And my god, being a YouTuber and just trashing companies like these, it's really dangerous, right? But that's the one thing that's really nice about Ubisoft. Like, even though you're being a content creator trying to just put out a criticizing point towards their games and the way they market their games and stuff like that, Ubisoft knows that you don't like it. Ubisoft knows, they watch my videos, and they've also spoken to me saying that, well, we kind of know what kind of videos you're going to be making related to our Ubisoft games. You're most likely going to trash another game of ours and stuff like that. They do understand, and they also understand that all of my criticisms are something that they need to improve on. So it's better that they are taking it in a positive way rather than just putting that off on a negative impact and then just completely canceling me out, because there are other developers and other companies like PlayStation and Naughty Dog and stuff like that, those who have completely abandoned me as a content creator. They basically blacklisted me, and any of the mails that I send are most likely going into the spam folders and stuff like that. So that is something, as a YouTuber and criticizing games, it's really hard, because you just have to go to Reddit and just read some of the top comments and stuff like that and just copy paste your reviews. That's basically how the game review world goes on in the latest trends, and I think I want to do it a little bit different. I want to let you guys know what I personally think. If I like the game, I like it. If I don't, then I don't. That's pretty much it. So getting back to the topic of what Ubisoft has been doing with their marketing team and stuff like that, it seems like they are doing an absolute garbage of a job in terms of just marketing the game with just a CGI trailer and then expecting people to just pre-order the game. The first thing I would say is that it is one of the most scummiest ways to get your pre-orders on. Now, of course, there are going to be a lot of people who are indeed going to pre-order the game without really having to know or see how the game looks like, and it's completely up to your choice. I know that some people are going to play the game, whether it's good or bad or whatever the reviews are, they're still going to enjoy it just because they bought the game. Now, of course, I know a bunch of group of people like that. My friends and myself have done the same thing in the past as well, but not anymore, since I now have better experience with gaming and I know better knowledge about the gaming industry and how things work. I no longer support the pre-order systems, because I think that is one of the most toxic systems out there that is kind of making the developers and the companies lazy in order to not provide us with the better content that they promised with the trailers and stuff like that. So that's the one big reason why I stay away from any of the pre-orders. And since I do love Ubisoft games, I do love Assassin's Creed games, Ubisoft, if you guys are watching this, I would strongly suggest you guys to give us more gameplay, show us more stuff about the game, and let us players decide whether we want to be paying the money for pre-order or not. Because you guys have literally just put out different editions. There's even collector's editions that is completely sold out before we even got to see the game. The only thing you guys have given us is a poster and a CGI trailer, which means absolutely nothing. So I would honestly suggest, if Ubisoft, you guys are watching this, please go ahead, listen to the community and give us what we want, which is the gameplay as soon as possible. I know maybe this could be happening somewhere before 2022, because 2023 your game is going to be out. How far long should the fans wait before they get their hands on with the official Assassin's Creed gameplay before the release date itself? Because looking at Ubisoft's past history with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the first thing that they did was they revealed a poster, which was basically photoshopped by Boss Logic, and that was the first thing that we got to see about Assassin's Creed Valhalla ever. And then we got a CGI trailer, a cinematic trailer, and right within a few weeks we actually received an official gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And also some of the content creators got their hands on. I myself got some early hands on with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We got a lot of playtests going on before the game could come out. There was a lot of gameplay shared, and they're not doing the same with Assassin's Creed Mirage, and God knows why. Maybe the game is not ready, or maybe Ubisoft is not confident enough with Assassin's Creed Mirage's gameplay so that they could most likely be losing a lot of pre-orders if they end up showing the gameplay. We don't really know what certain situations are, which is why I would strongly suggest you guys to wait for the official reviews to drop in. I myself will be reviewing the game early because I hopefully, I'm just crossing my fingers, if Ubisoft is still supporting me, you guys could just provide me with an early access to Mirage so that I can give you guys the honest opinions, the honest reviews on what Assassin's Creed Mirage looks like, plays like. And trust me, I'm not going to just copy paste some of the reviews like most of the other YouTubers do, especially some of the Assassin's Creed YouTubers who are on the top class range right now. I have seen those guys, they don't even play the game. And the only reviews that they just copy paste from the top Reddit post or IGN bullshit, whatever they do, I honestly stopped believing in IGN reviews anymore. And that's the kind of reviews that people are getting these days. And I would strongly suggest you guys to look for a YouTuber who would give you guys a honest opinion on what he or she personally thinks about the game if you're someone that looks forward to reviews and stuff like that. And then watch the gameplay, and if you still end up liking the game, that is when you should decide to go ahead, pay the money and purchase the game. Because if you support a game which you're not liking and then you basically start complaining about it later on, then you are most likely one of those guys who are supporting games like FIFA, which is pretty much the same every single year, and you still end up buying it just because you're a fan of the game. Now, although listen, there is a lot of flaws in Ubisoft, but I've got to admit though, Ubisoft does listen to fans, they do listen to the community, they do listen to content creators, because I myself, I've spoken to some of the developers, I've spoken to developers from Assassin's Creed Mirage. I've also provided some really good criticism for the game, and they've indeed changed a lot of things in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So all of these things, they basically do listen to their fans. So this is something that I have not seen with most, I think 90% of the development studios out there in the gaming industry. And I think I should really appreciate Ubisoft, even though they do end up making mistakes or whatever they do, at the end, they still do listen, lads. Because if you take a look at the line of collections that for all the upcoming Assassin's Creed games that they're releasing in the upcoming seasons, one being Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is going to be a game that's going to go back to the roots, and it's going to satisfy some of the old school Assassin's Creed fans, because this is something that we as fans, myself, I've been begging Ubisoft to make a game that goes back to its roots, because I don't enjoy the RPG system as much as what I've been enjoying with the basic Assassin's Creed games that I've learned to play from my childhood, because those are the games that I fell in love with the entire franchise. And that is something that Ubisoft did listen. They did listen to the community. They did take in the feedbacks, and they are now officially working on delivering different types of Assassin's Creed games. One being the Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is old school, and then we have Assassin's Creed Codename Red, which is set in feudal Japan. Now, the biggest take here is that Ubisoft did listen, that the community wants a feudal Japan setting, and they did kind of execute that here. And at the same time, there is a lot of different variations in the community. Some people like RPG style Assassin's Creed games, and some don't. Some like the old school, like myself. I personally, I would just prefer an old school method of Assassin's Creed game rather than the RPG style, although the RPG style kind of just gives us more content, and also it kind of gives us a more video creative ideas and stuff like that. If it's an RPG game, I completely get it, but at the same time, in terms of how narrative and story and gameplay goes, I strongly prefer the old school Assassin's Creed games. So they're doing different types of Assassin's Creed games, one being the RPG, one being the old school, and they're going for a completely different take with Assassin's Creed game that is set in a medieval time period where you have all these witchcraft and stuff like that. There is basically a lot of different types of Assassin's Creed games coming this year, and also with the upcoming year, and also with the post-launch content and stuff like that, which basically shows that Ubisoft is indeed listening. But I would honestly say that they are extremely bad in executing what they know so far from the community. Because if you take a look at a majority of people, it seems like half of the Assassin's Creed fan base is divided into some of the RPG lovers, and then the half is old school lovers. For example, I recently just saw a video from Luke Stiffen, who is a YouTuber, who made a video just defending Assassin's Creed Odyssey on how good that game is. And then he put out his opinion stating that he loved Assassin's Creed Odyssey Odyssey compared to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, in terms of side quests and the main story quest and stuff like that, he prefers Odyssey over Valhalla, and I prefer Valhalla over Odyssey anytime. Odyssey, to me, in my opinion, has been one of the most non-Assassin's Creed game that I've ever seen. Now, although if you just take the game as a standalone RPG title, which has nothing to do with Assassin's Creed titles, then I would say it's a great game. It's a great RPG game, but since it's named as Assassin's Creed, I just cannot do justice for this game. And not just this, when it also comes to side quest and stuff like that, as one of the most repetitive and boring side quests that I have ever seen in the video game history. Now, when you see that with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that game did it completely different. There's a lot of side quests in the game, which is actually interesting, and it's not very much repetitive. I know Ubisoft games are mostly repetitive, but still we can't do stuff with that. We just have to go on with it. And I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla did a better job compared to what Assassin's Creed Odyssey did in terms of side quest and main quest and stuff like that. So I personally prefer this one. So there are different people in the community who prefer different types of Assassin's Creed games, because Ubisoft has just opened this vast majority of different types of Creed games that they're currently developing, where they are making this Assassin's Creed Infinity platform, where it's going to have a bunch of upcoming Assassin's Creed games linked in all together as one, which is actually great for a single player experience, because I have never in my jubillion years ever seen companies do something like this for a single player game, because most of these stuffs, the live service stuff, goes for multiplayer, and I think we should give Ubisoft a huge props in order for going ahead and trying something different with single player. They're giving more concentration towards single player storyline games, and that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, the conclusion of this video is that we have a new release date for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and there are two different release dates, one being the official one that is coming from Ubisoft Connect themselves, and there's also another one from a retailer. We have no idea which is true. This could just be a placeholder, but then May 15 and February 15. Now, these two dates, it kind of just seems too odd to be a placeholder, especially since Ubisoft said that their game is going to be releasing in spring. So it kind of just keeps me skeptical in order to see maybe, hopefully, the game comes out in February. What do you guys think? When do you guys think the official release date is going to be? Is it going to be February 15th? Or do you think it's going to happen on May 15th? I would love to know your opinions down below in the comments, lads. Please go ahead, share your feedbacks, your thoughts down below in the comments. And like you guys already know, I will always keep you guys updated with all the latest information that comes in related to all the upcoming open world games, especially Assassin's Creed games, because that is what I cover on this channel. So if you guys are interested in content like these, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Just click the red subscribe button down below and turn the notifications on. And even if you guys have turned the notifications on, one of the most important step of all is that you guys need to set the notification settings to all, because if you don't do that, it seems like YouTube, they just don't send you guys the notifications on my daily videos. So make sure that you guys are doing this. And if you guys are going and enjoy this video and want to be supportive to me as a content creator, if you could just take a few seconds of your time, that would really be appreciated. If you guys could just go ahead, drop a big fat like on this video, that would really help me out as a content creator. It helps out the video. It helps get a lot of reach for this video and the content and basically the channel itself. So your support is very, very much appreciated. So please just take a few seconds, drop a like. I really love that. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.